My name is Kennedy Ng, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, the Dream City. As every Sunday, 7 p.m., we have a very special guest. And tonight we have one of my special one, my friend, Mr. Vincent Bonito. He's a very humble man, very spiritual, and he has a lot of information to share with Union City, the Dream City. Mr. Bonito, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, thank you, Kennedy.
Very good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I know that you have a lot of information, educational information, community information, and a lot to say to the community. Can you tell the community about yourself, your background, your family?
Sure, I would be honored. First of all, again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. My genealogy, family history, essentially is I am Italian on my father's side and Romanian Russian on my mother's side. They're both deceased. In fact, this month is their respective anniversaries of passing. And my father's parents, my Italian grandparents, whom I knew and grew up with, were immigrants from Italy. And my mother's parents were immigrants from Romania and Russia. I knew only my father's parents. I did not, unfortunately, know my mother's parents. So I'm Italian and Russian.
You have a good mix.
Yes.
Did you go to school in Union City?
I did. I attended Holy Rosary Academy, then Holy Rosary Academy Grammar School, kindergarten through 8th grade, which was administered by the Palatine Sisters, the Palatine Order, which is a religious order in the Catholic Church. And then from there, I attended Emerson High School, which is now Emerson Middle School. And then from Emerson High School, I then went to earn a bachelor's degree at St. Peter's College.
Yeah. Vincent, do you remember some of the teachers when you were a kid?
Oh, sure. Many, and you know, many who were inspirational and
that's the reason, because I always ask that question, because you always learn from your teachers and then you follow up the good things that they taught you.
Of course. In fact, I can share with you. In grammar school in Holy Rosary, my 5th grade teacher, who was a sister, a nun, who's now passed, I remember keeping in touch with her after I had graduated. We would send Christmas cards and what have you, and she really appreciated that. And every day after school, she would ask me to stay after school with 1 or 2 other kids to help clean the classroom. And in the beginning, we looked at it as a chore, but then it became an act of love.
Exactly.
And we bonded. And it was good spiritual quality time.
I know you for many years, and we have talked about different topics, but I see you very spiritual. Can you talk a little bit about
that? Me and a little bit about spiritual, we'll be here all night. Sure. What would you like to know?
Just the basic things. How you get to that point to be like
Well,
religious, very religious and spiritual.
I'll tell you, my father was Catholic, old school Catholic, traditional Latin Mass back in the day, and my mother was raised Orthodox Jewish. My father grew up in Jersey City, my mother grew up in West New York. And what's interesting there is that when my parents had met, my father had been divorced and my mother had never married. And so they came from two different religious traditions, but similar in many ways. And my Italian grandparents, who we lived in the same house, were a very big influence on me. The traditions that we had in the house, there was one thing I can tell you, Kennedy, is there was tremendous respect between the Catholic traditions and the Jewish traditions, and they're very similar, you know. There was mutual respect, my father to my mother to my father, and I was raised Catholic, but also I attended temple with my mother. It was important to her that I understand my Jewish heritage.
It's part of the culture, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I had the privilege of growing up under both the Italian Catholic culture and the Russian Romanian Jewish culture.
And that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. If you compare like 20 years back, maybe 25 years back, in today's day, the services in church that you attend, there any difference?
Yes. Well, the way in which the altar is prepared, we had more, how can I say, an ornamental style about the Mass preparation. Today it seems to be more simpler. The altar servers, back in the day, only boys could serve a Mass. Today girls can serve, which I have no problem with.
Okay.
I think it's a great thing that girls are of service in ministry. And there were many women who had ministered to our Lord. So I have seen many changes in the liturgy, in the Catholic liturgy.
It's natural because, different time, different...
Of course. And it was more conservative back then. We've progressed to more liberal or more progressive thinking now. And also what has made me more spiritual, I want to share with you my very good friendship. Though I'm a practicing Catholic and Jewish, my very good friendship with the missionaries of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the elders and the sisters. I came to know them 3 years ago because of genealogy and family research, which they are very big on and I've always been interested in. And I have a great friendship with them. We have obvious differences in belief.
What about the music that they use before and now, if you can compare during the services?
It just seems that the music, I think the music was more intense back then and less intense now.
Okay, because my experience going to I'm Catholic, many years back, my personal opinion, the music was like more spiritual, more like southern. Now, I'm not saying that it's aggressive, but probably it's because the culture and the cosmopolitan city that we have here in Union City.
Correct.
Could be that.
Correct. Yes. And that's a very important point that you touch upon, because given the metropolitan area that we live in, it is a very hectic, fast-paced life around here, and for some people, including myself, with my own impatience, 1 second is too long.
Yeah, yes. I understand that you attend to college and you have a bachelor degree in theology.
Correct.
What made you go into that major?
Well, I had always been interested in religious studies. I had always been involved in various ministries in the Catholic Church, beginning as an altar boy, youth organizations, parish council, parish ministries. I was always involved in various parish ministries, and so I just evolved into that naturally. But my other interest, which I also have a degree in, is political science. I was always interested.
And that was my next question.
Right.
Now that you mentioned it, so what is the common characteristics between the two bachelor's degrees that you have in theology and political science?
Well, very simply, it's the debate, if you will, between church and state. I myself have always been interested in and drawn to this great, not that it's a divide, although it can be a divide, the interest in church and the interest in state. I have always been attracted and interested in church and state matters, and the pros and cons that go with that.
I understand that you work for the Union City Board of Education. What position do you have there?
I am an administration clerk. I deal with attendance issues and discipline issues, and also sometimes with security when needed. But essentially, my concentration is on students' attendance.
Very good. How many years have you been working for the Union City District?
Oh, it's got to be approaching 20.
20 years.
Yeah. Maybe not near 20, but it's looking at that mark.
You have experience now.
Yes, indeed.
I understand that you are a volunteer as a commissioner in one of the agency in the city of Union City, redevelopment agency. How many years have you been there?
Oh, that's got to be at least 10 plus years. And Mayor Stack at the time had asked me. I remember going to him and expressing my interest to him in helping the community more. And he had said to me that he was always, if there was a need on a community board, that he would reach out to me. And as it happened, a vacancy occurred on the redevelopment agency, and he did reach out to me, and I was honored, and I accepted it.
Very good. You have done a good job in there.
Well, thank you. I hope so.
And I know you always active and making good, positive comments, and that's what we need in the city.
I appreciate that.
Vincent, you mentioned that your grandparents had a business in West New York. Can you talk a little bit about that?
My mother's father, who I did not know, he owned a candy store on Bergerline Avenue.
Wow, candy store.
Yeah, candy store, yeah. He owned a candy store back in the day on Bergerline Avenue, near where the Dunkin' Donuts is now, on 48th Street.
48 is that West New York?
West New York.
West New York.
Yeah,
it's the
West
border.
Correct. He owned a candy store in West New York on Bergerline, near where that Dunkin' Donuts is now, by the light rail area. And my grandfather, my Italian grandfather, who I knew very well, he owned a jewelry store, Bonito Jewelers, which was on 10th Street and Summit Avenue. And he had that business for years, and I remember as a kid after school going there and doing my homework in the back, and my grandmother sweeping outside.
That's great.
I remember that very well, yeah.
You consider yourself a businessman, following up your parents' culture?
I do, but I feel more inclined towards spiritual matters, but maybe applying business applications to that.
Vincent, tell me something. What the city of Union City means to you?
It means home. It means my roots, foundation. It means the family, friendships, church. Union City for me is essentially my home.
That's your life.
It's my life. My whole life has been here. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Vincent, almost ending. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to share anything with the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey. Anything that maybe we didn't cover during this interview, if you want to share. Anything additional?
Probably one of the most important things that I would like to share with the audience moving forward is the times that we are living in. We are living in very challenging economic times, political times, what have you. And I have always believed in the basics of respect. In this country, we have religious liberty, we have political liberty. That's the foundation of this country. I believe it is very important that we need to come together, bipartisan, Democrat, Republican, and Independent. We need, in the model of two of my favorite presidents, John F. Kennedy and Ronald Reagan, to be able to put our ideas on the table, work through disagreements, develop respect for each other, and we need to create and work towards a greater environment of civility. We have moved away from civility, and given everything going on, and your audience knows what's going on, we need, and I would hope and pray earnestly that we can work toward greater mutual respect and civility. Yes, have our disagreements, agree to disagree, but respect for each other at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Vincent Bonito.
Thank you, Mr. Nagy.
This interview has been very, educational. I call it very there for the community.
Thank you.
As every Sunday, 7 p.m., Union City, New Jersey, we have very special guests, but tonight we had Mr. Vincent Bonito, a long-time Union City resident, very humble man, smart, good worker, hard worker, very spiritual, and very honest. I really appreciate it that you took the time to come to the Union City, our show every Sunday at 7 p.m., The Dream City. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. A pleasure.